Welcome back to the farm. As you can see, it is a nasty rainy day today, so I'm not able to get much done outside, much of anything. So what I'm doing today is I have put together a new feeder and water for the chickens. In the process of putting the water together, it's going to be a whole system. The feeder, I saw a couple of videos on YouTube about this feeder, and it's basically just a trash can. I got a 20-gallon trash can. I didn't want one too big because this is probably going to go inside the chicken coop, and so I didn't want it to be too big. It's already kind of crowded in there, but it's just a trash can and some 4-inch 45 connectors with the female end on one end and the male end on the other. The reason there's only 3 in there now is because I just grabbed 4 out of the bin, and the bin had the wrong one. This is a 22.5 degree, and I don't want to put that in there because the angle that's sitting in, if I put it in like that, I think there's too much room here for feed to come out the door, or come out the end of it here. So I've got to take that back and get it replaced. But these 3 were the 45 degree, and they're sitting. What I did, I measured 4 inches from the bottom of the trash can, and drilled a 4-inch hole. I have my little Harbor Freight hole saw kit that I used, and it worked fine. The 4-inch hole saw is a little undersized, which is good because it needs to be a snug fit so it can be kind of watertight. I didn't want to have to put any silicone around it. I didn't expect it to be that tight. I mean, it was pretty tight. I had to push pretty hard to get it in there. But if you can see through the hole here on this other side how far down that comes, the chickens will be able to stick their head in there and get feed, and I don't think it's going to have a problem with any feed spilling out. This is my first try at this, so I don't know. But anyway, that's the feeder. It's basically finished, other than getting the right fitting for it. That is just a cheap Walmart. It's the cheapest trash can I could find at Walmart. What in the world was that? Things moving around in here. But anyway, hopefully that works out good. I should be able to put 2, maybe 3 bags of feed in there, so maybe 150 pounds of feed in there, which will last a while. And the reason I'm doing this is because we've got about 15 chickens in the coop already, and we've got 30 to 32 chickens in the brooder, and 3 turkeys in the brooder, and 9 ducks in the brooder that are needing to come out pretty quick. So when they come out, I don't know how I'm going to keep up feeding them all. So I made this. Hopefully this will cut down on how often we have to refill it. But so that's the feeder. The watering system I also saw on YouTube, and what it is a 5-gallon bucket, and it's got one of the screw-off lids, so I can get into it without having to pop the lid off. And let me get this off one-handed here. And as you can tell, what that is a toilet valve. It's the float valve for a toilet. It's the cheapest one I could find at Ace Hardware, our local Ace Hardware. I think it was $6 or $7. And the reason I kind of went this way instead of going with a 50-gallon or 55-gallon, plastic drum like you see a lot of people doing, is I've done that before, and I was always fighting with algae and stuff in the water. I never did think about putting apple cider vinegar in the water, so it constantly grew algae, which was a pain in the rear end. The water won't sit in it very long. Hopefully that'll cut down on the algae. And also I'll come in every now and then, unscrew the lid, and pour maybe a cup of apple cider vinegar in there, and it'll help with the algae too. It's also supposed to be good for the chickens. But you have to get a few special parts to do this too, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to run, let me see if I can set this down. I'm going to run a water hose. This is my supply line. It's going to be my water hose. This is pressurized, and it'll fill up the bucket to a certain point and stop. And then this is going to come out. This is going to be gravity fed to these little watering nipples and some watering cups. I'm going to use both. The ducks, I don't know if the ducks can use these or not, so I got these. The ducks and chickens both can use these. They're kind of a pain. The ducks themselves are kind of a pain when it comes to keeping things clean, because they like to they'll have feed on their bill, and they'll get in the water, and they'll make this dirty. They'll get it dirty, but they're easy to clean. You just snap them, turn them, snap them off, clean it out, put it back on. So that's no big deal. But those have to be gravity fed, so you can't put a pressurized system on these. So they got some special parts. This part that comes out of the bucket is a bulkhead union, and this is 3/4 female pipe thread. And this was in the plumbing section at Ace Hardware, and so was this. This is just your regular toilet valve connection, and it had a 3/4 inch or 1/2 inch fitting here. These brass fittings that I'm going to show you, they all came from the garden section at Ace Hardware, where the garden hoses are. So what I had to get, I don't know where the other package is, but this is a 3/4 inch male hose thread, female hose thread, to 3/4 inch male pipe thread, and that is this right here. That goes in there, and then what I'll do, and well, this was a 1/2 inch pipe thread and a 3/4 inch hose thread, and this is just compression fitting in here. This one I had to put some the Teflon tape on to seal it. This is going to be, these are the fittings that I'm going to use as part of the watering system. I've got some 1.5 inch PVC, Schedule 40 PVC. I just had that laying around, so I didn't have to go buy it. You can use any size. I've seen videos of people who had the nipples and stuff on 3/4 inch all the way up to 4 inch. You don't have to use Schedule 40 PVC. You can use the sewer pipe if you can find the fittings for it. But what I did is, this fitting will go in here. This is a cap. I'm not sure what they call that, but there's a number if you need it. But that threads in here. Okay, I don't know why my video cut off, but anyway, this is let me see it. It is a 3/4 inch male hose thread by 3/4 inch male pipe or 1/2 inch female pipe thread. And I just realized a few minutes ago it's got threads on the inside and the outside. So, but that's what I got. It works, but it screws into this end cap, and it'll go there. If I can get it in there one-handed. There it goes. And then it'll go into a coupler, just a regular old 1.5 inch coupling. The nipples are going to be higher than the cups, so I'll come out with 6 feet or so. I'll have to measure. That's why I haven't put it together already. I want to measure as I do it, so I cut the pipes the right length. But it'll come out a little higher, and then it'll drop down with the 45, and I'll go down probably a foot or two, and then I'll come in lower with this 45 to another piece of PVC, probably another 6-8 feet. I'm going to run it out the other side of the chicken coop, so I can put this on the end, and it's got a threaded cap where I can just use it as a clean out. If I get algae or something in there and I need to clean it out, I can just take this plug out here, and I can clean it out, and I won't even have to do it from the inside of the coop. But anyway, that's the parts you're going to need for that. And then I got this splitter to go on our spigot at the house. I'll use one of them for the chicken coop, and then the other one will go just for using around the house. But I'm just in the beginning stages of this, so I don't know how it's going to work. It should work. I hope it works. I'll do another part of this video either as I put it together or after I get it put together and see how it works.